up, though? Tiffany M. Battle.
Randy Camille.
Tasha Bradley.
Rhonda L. Battle.
Michael Anderson. Dorian Falk.
Tiff Massey.
Sean, I'm from Detroit.
Been in Detroit all my life.
18 years.
71 years.
42 years.
I lived in Detroit for 30 years.
When I first fell in love with Detroit was when I actually left.
And it made me realize like how special this city is.
The majority of my life, I feel like I was riding on the armrest of my dad's Cadillac Seville.
I first fell in love with Detroit when I learned about basketball, the Detroit Bad Boys.
I've been in love with Detroit all my life, and especially after I met my husband.
I fell in love with Detroit the moment I came here.
I was a teenager. One of the radio stations used to have an event called Family Fun Day at Eliza Howe, free concert for the family. I saw Aaliyah, I saw everybody. So that was my first event, like grasping Detroit and loving them.
When I first fell in love with Detroit is when Detroit first fell in love with me. Our culture, our sports, our entertainment, our music.
And I saw that not everyone had the Detroit culture and the Detroit fashion and style and the swag. No one had the Cartiers and rocking the Coogee down to the socks. I mean, Biggie shouted us out.
One of my favorite places to eat is Fish Bones.
Fixin' Soul.
You gotta go by Lou's on 6 Mile.
Tava Via.
Prime and proper.
And I like Savoy.
When you come to Detroit, one of the coolest things, you gotta go by Belle Isle.
Belle Isle.
I love Belle Isle.
Belle Isle.
I take my 96-year-old mother. We just ride around Belle Isle. What a wonderful park it is.
One of the largest, state parks. Is larger than Central Park. You gotta go to St. Cecilia. That's the basketball mecca.
Two Birds on the east side.
Charles Wright Museum.
Easy Peasy.
You also gotta go near Palmer Park area, kind of see the architecture, see the houses. Go to the Boston Edison district to see the architecture over there.
Motown Museum.
You gotta go by Motown's history. The Henry Ford Museum is outside of Detroit, but you get some culture of how the whole automotive industry started.
The big three, Ford Motor Company, Chrysler, and GM.
You gotta come downtown, you gotta go to Greektown, so that's a real cool area to go. When you go into Greektown, it's close enough to the actual downtown where you can walk around, come to Eastern Market. That's where we are now currently. Eastern Market is one of the largest markets in the country. You gotta go to the water so you can see Canada. We got a whole nother country right there.
And that's what made me really love and appreciate my city, my hometown. 248, I know y'all like 313, but I'm a 248 girl.
And when we keep going with the hustle, the flow, the grit that really grinds us to being who we are, we know that Detroit is forever in us.
And I always love Detroit.
Love at first sight, as soon as I open my eyes.
That everybody wasn't like Detroit. There's only one Detroiter.
So Detroit, I love you just as much as you love me, and I'll forever be your #1 girl.
What up, though?
What up, though?
What up, though?
What up, Joe?
What up, though? What up, though?
What up, though?
What up, though?
What up, though?
This is the Big D.
What up, though? I'm Isaiah Thomas. I've been here my whole adult life.